Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Feazell, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning at 2 p.m. That's on the Eastern Time Zone, as I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. Now, you can find us a number of other ways. We are your Fox News affiliate, and you can find us also on Abundance Television, syndicated, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast on thenewscasters.com. We still do social media. We still got all that stuff going on. Don't want you to get in trouble at work by watching the show. So if you can't watch during the work hours, you can watch on Facebook anytime you want to, and YouTube when I don't get kicked off. And I have with me right now Silk, and Silk is an absolutely fascinating lady. And you guys keep asking for her. And we've been moving the past few weeks, so she hasn't been on in a couple of months. And, you know, people were kind of concerned. They said, is Silk okay? She's fired up. She's okay.
Yes, Silk is doing magnificent. Yes. I've been away myself. You've been moving, but I've been working on a movie. Called Pardon Me, the Bevelyn B. Williams story. It's about the young lady. She's a pro-lifer. She's the first Black woman to ever been convicted and found guilty of violating the FACE Act. And she was sentenced to 41 months in prison, and President Trump pardoned her. So we're doing a movie about her life story. So soon, I'll keep you updated. It's coming out soon, and I enjoy working on the movie.
Oh, now this is something new for you.
This is something brand new. I had to learn my lines. And then when I got there, they was like, just be authentic, be yourself. So I was. And it's a beautiful story. It's amazing. The producers, the directors, working with everybody. And it's something that I think the world needs to see. I know that the world needs to see it for the simple fact, the narrative that the media love to spin a lot of times is nothing but negative narratives. Okay. Mm-hmm. But to be able to have the opportunity to tell the truth about what really went down, what happened, how this transpired, and how President Trump pardoned Bevelyn at the end. This is going to be an amazing movie for all to see.
Oh, I can't wait. What's the time frame? When do you think it'll be ready?
Well, I would say give it about 2 or 3 months. If that, give it about, because they're doing the editing process right now. So we want to make sure we give them time for that. But I'll keep everybody updated as far as, the trailer when it comes out. But everything is saying now coming soon.
I can't wait. It's going to be so good. Yeah. She's going to be a movie star now. So that's exciting.
I keep telling people I was a movie star now.
And it's going to be a great movie too. I love movies that are about a real storyline.
Exactly. I've had the opportunity to just sit and watch a lot of different movies, and I am like really sick. My gut is sick. When I look at the movie, you get started, it starts off good, and then they bring all of that woke stuff in it, and I'm like, doggone it. I thought I had me a good one here. Movies, it's not like it used to be. And this junk that they're trying to push down our throat for us to swallow, we're choking on that junk. We're choking on it. And so to be able to be part of a movie where it's talking about someone's life story, it's not a friction story. It's not. I want to make sure I'm saying the words right. It's not a story depicted about what somebody thinks somebody did. This is a story based on true events. Okay. It's not a documentary. It's actually a movie. Okay.
I love that. I mean, and people are looking for the truth. I mean, people are tired of this washed up, weird stuff, that nobody really does. I mean, to dig somebody up to pretend they're whatever. I have to even wonder about some of the interviews they do. Are they really coaching them to say stupid stuff?
I don't know. I really truly don't know, Donna. But what I do know is that it makes me turn the TV off. It makes me just turn it off because I'm like, I don't want to see that. And how is it even possible that they are able to put a lot of this stupid junk out there? You have children watching the TV shows and different things. I know they got parental control, but a lot of even the parental control movies and different shows is laced with a lot of that woke stuff, and it's demonic. It is truly demonic. So, like I say, I'm glad to be a part of something that is true, that's real. And I'm glad that they allowed me to be a part of and asked me to be a part of it. I'm honored.
Well, you're going to have to come to Abbeville, South Carolina.
Okay.
This place is all about history. I'm talking the real history.
Oh, wow.
So to see a house, and it's a huge old antebellum home.
Yeah.
And so they were talking about Thomas Jefferson actually stayed there.
Mm-hmm.
But I really got into the tour guide.
Yeah.
And so I thought, well, I'm going to leave if this guy's not about real history, because I don't want to waste time. And I'm like,
Right.
I got too many things to do. So we're there, and I just asked a few little questions just to see, And I said something about the history that's being taught to kids nowadays, and he blew up. He said he didn't like the way they're teaching kids nowadays. They don't know the truth about stuff. And I looked at Phil and I said, he's going to be a good tour guide.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was speaking the truth about stuff, about the history of things that happened in that house. But there's lots of history here.
It's a lot of history in our country. It's a whole lot of history. I'm looking at President Donald J. Trump and how he's just traveling to all of these different foreign countries. We have been taught and indoctrinated to believe that all of these foreign countries hates America. It's not that they hate America. They hate these career politicians that choose to interfere in their elections, meddle in their business, and I feel try to steal their wealth from them. As far as I'm concerned, put all these sanctions and different things on a lot of these different countries. And I look at how these countries are open to accepting President Donald J. Trump. And they're treating him like royalty. They're treating him just like a king, girl, just welcoming him in. And the way that he's able to make these deals where these different countries are saying, hey, yeah, here's $600 billion. Here's this billion. Here's this million. I want to invest into your country. He's able to go there and make these deals. It lets me know that these Democrats and these GOP Republicans, Grand Old Party Republicans, have been lying to us about our history with a lot of these different foreign countries. And I feel, it's my own humble opinion, that the real true enemy is the Democrat Party and the GOP Republicans, these career politicians. And what they want to do is siege control over as many as they can and steal our wealth, Americans' wealth, as well as many of these other countries' wealth. And I think also their end goal is to have us in some type of war so that we can always stay divided, always stay fighting. And they use that as the guise to steal and launder money back to themselves. That's how I feel about it.
I feel the same way. And I really do feel, Silk, that this is a true battle between good and evil. I think it's Satan is all in this. And he's having himself a heyday right now, watching kids be molested. He's watching kids, try to change their sex. And I did a little bit of research on this, Silk.
Okay.
So this is what they tell the kids. Now, if you're a boy and you think you're a girl, you're going to have an ultimate sex life because this is going to be the real you. But this is the real truth here. Okay. Once they get this, they're hollowed out on the inside. They have none of the pleasure of the sex they think they're going to have. As a matter of fact, they're almost like eunuchs.
They're empty. They're empty. You've basically messed up somebody's life. You've destroyed somebody's life. They are empty. How do they know what pleasure they will be able to have if they never had the pleasure? All right. You see what I'm saying? Okay. So you can tell these little boys and these little girls, they still little, they still young, and they haven't, a lot of them hadn't even reached puberty. And you're taking and you're messing with God's natural order. And whenever you violate and mess with God's natural order, okay, you're going to create a monster. You'll create a mentally ill individual, because the pleasure that you speak of, they will never be able to know what it is. They would think that hurting themselves is the pleasure. They don't know what the real pleasure really truly feel like. Okay.
And they wind up being empty on the inside in their head. I mean, they're empty all over. And that's cruel. That's cruel.
It's cruel. It's cruel, but it's also, I feel like they're murdering those individual spirit. They're murdering who they were born to be, and they are messing with what God created. Okay. And it's shame on the parents who allow this demonic stuff. Shame on the parents who allow it. Shame on whichever politician or government that allows it. But it's really destroying our children. And for a lot of these individuals to say they're for the children, no, you can't be for the children. If you're okay with them being sodomized, with the sex trafficking, with the human trafficking of children, you're not okay with the children. And what I look at was sitting there in Congress and was sitting there in the Senate, a lot of those people are mentally ill. They are mentally confused. Okay. To come before the people and say that you are a representation of the people, but you want to push your agenda on the people instead of do what the people want you to do. No, you don't represent me. Mental illness should not be sitting in Congress and writing up legislations to pass and push down on we the people. Okay. I know that there's a gentleman up there that's in a dress up there in Congress. I don't even know his name, but he's up there in a dress. That should not even be. That shouldn't even be. If you was not born in this country as an American citizen, I do not believe that you should be up there in Congress or the Senate. Okay. If you really truly look at it, Donna, majority of the people that's sitting up there are foreigners. They're from a different country who came to our country. All right. And they signed on to be a citizen. And now they have been infiltrated into our systems. And that's the reason why they're pushing all of this crazy stuff and using American tax dollars to fund illegal aliens and making us, the American people, an accessory to their crimes of aiding and abetting these illegal aliens. So that's why we are seeing what we're seeing. So now that President Trump is in, and he's trying to uproot all of that. He's trying to uproot the fraud. He's trying to uproot the indoctrination. He's trying to uproot all of that so that we can go back to being a sovereign country. All right. And governed by laws, rules, and regulations. All right. He's bringing back law and order. And I sit there and I look at, you know, how you're going down your stream and everything. And I see a lot of Democrats, they want to just be, yeah. And then I come across Jim Crow Joe Biden saying some stuff. And they all talking about what Trump should be doing. Trump should be doing this. No, he should be doing that. All right.
Well, then why weren't they doing it when they were in office?
They had 4 years to do all of this stuff that they say Trump should be doing. And what did they do? Total opposite. Okay. They didn't do absolutely nothing but destroy our country is what they did. And that gets to me whenever.
And they knew they were doing it. It was on purpose, absolutely on purpose. So I spoke with a guy today who is going to be running against Lindsey Graham in South Carolina.
Okay.
And so he's going to be, and I like the guy. As a matter of fact, we have an interview. It'll be coming out in the next week or so. Okay. And I'm really excited. His name is Mark Lynch. He's running for Senate, and you need to know this guy. And I talked with the guy who is actually his handler. I don't know what you call him, but anyway, they're on the same team. In other words, I mean, they're talking about, okay, you know, kids, you know, being told that if they're a boy and they think they're a girl, all that stuff is okay. They're talking about charter schools. They're talking about fair tax, flat tax, all these things. And and I'm just not. I'm on the bandwagon.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Lindsey Graham's going to hate me. Or probably already does anyway. This guy, I'm just telling, and I know President Trump has already, he's okayed him, but things can change. The people in South Carolina do not like Lindsey Graham. He only comes out of hiding during election year.
Yes.
He's one of those. And I don't care what he said. He is he's around for the good time. That's all he is there for. And I don't know how many times he's bucked President Trump on things.
Yep. Lindsey Graham is a snake.
Yes.
He's a deep state snake, a career politician who hadn't done much or nothing for the benefit of the American people. He's a liar, and the truth is nowhere in him. And I'm saying it the way I mean to say it. Yeah, I'm not taking none of it back. He's proven himself to be a snake. When you say he just come out just doing elections, you know how the snakes just come out when they want certain, they just peep their head out. And his true colors have been shown so many times across the board. And not only do South Carolina or South Carolinians not want him, Americans, we ain't thinking about Lindsey Graham. He ain't no good. Now, let me tell you something about my man, President Donald J. Trump. It's about playing 3D or 4D chess. Sometimes you got to keep your friends close and your enemies closer. So you got to play that game. But we, the people, get to decide. Okay? And there's plenty of people that President Trump may have endorsed or say, yeah, okay, we're going to endorse that one. But the people decided as to who they want. All right? It's nothing wrong with playing the game, but we, the people, get to make the choice as to who we want in leadership. And Lindsey Graham has been there a long time. And can you name one thing?
I can't think of anything he's done. I just, not one thing. I can't. I've heard him gripe and grumble, but I've not heard him really do anything. I mean, he's one of those people that I would have fired a long time ago had they been in my business. I would have said, get out. Here's your boss. Get out of this.
He would have been gone a long time. He would have been gone a long time. And I know he may not like me. I really don't give a doggone about it. Y'all know how I am. I'm just gonna be the truth teller that I am. He's a snake, a deep state snake is who Lindsey Graham and many more grand old party Republicans are. Rhino Republicans, nothing but snakes.
They're worthless. I'd rather be around a Democrat than a rhino. At least you know where to dodge the bullets when they're coming at you. At least you know.
You know what aim they coming at. Yeah. But I don't like these Republicans that's just sitting up there spreading like butter, doing absolutely nothing. I was just talking the other day, President Trump done did what he said he don't do. He gonna do. He done did it in executive order, no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime. How is it that we, the Republican Party, is over the House, is over the Senate, and we still sitting here itching about what President Trump want codified into law?
Well, the ones that are not cooperating and the ones that can't make their minds up and they're waiting on the money to come to them, they need to go. They need to go. And folks, we've got to do the research now, and you've got to vote in midterms. Do you know how many people don't vote in midterms? They think, well, the prez, we're going to do the president, but they don't do midterm. That is sick, because you've got to do that. And let me tell you about North Carolina. Okay, there's a guy running for Senate. He's a friend of mine. I know him personally. His name is Don Brown. He's an attorney, Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay.
Where he lives. You need to do some research on this guy. He fights. Now he's former Navy. He's written books. He's got a movie started. He's doing all kinds of great, great stuff. But this guy walks the walk. And he better stay that way if he gets in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But here's the deal. Even though he walks the walks, what I'm finding out, Donna, is once they get in, they become indoctrinated and controlled underneath that global elitist, that elite group that's there, okay, that's been there. All right. But now that President Trump is in, it's some things that, the tides are changing, thank God. And hopefully when whoever this gentleman that you're talking about, when he get in, it'll be a little bit different. Hopefully Nancy Pelosi will be gone. Lindsey Graham will be gone. Chuck Schumer will be gone. And many more other deep state snake rhinos and Democrat rats will be gone as well. And he will be able to then get there and do the job for the will of the people and not do what the swamp want him to do.
Yeah, the swamp needs to be gone. And I love President Trump for bringing that out. Years ago he did that. And he's absolutely right about that. But this guy, Don Brown, now you'll be Tom Tillis. Mr. Tom Tillis.
Yes.
So hopefully he's going to be taking his place. But now he's doing this the old-fashioned way. He's actually going out, talking to people. He's going to groups. They're
grass work.
And he's letting people ask him questions. He's not avoiding the issues at all.
Right.
So really do some research on that guy.
But see, here's the deal. Is the Republicans behind him? Is the oh God, I don't, it just went past my mind. You know how you have the Republican chair over the Republican. Oh God, I can't even think of their name, and I'm looking right at them. But are they the GOP or whatever? You know how they get behind these different candidates and they fund these different candidates. Are they behind this guy? Because
I don't know. I think he's ruffling some feathers right now. He may
Republican National Committee. Yeah, the RNC is who I'm talking about. Are they behind him? Because what I've been finding out, I don't know what's happening, at this time with the RNC, because we have MAGA that's in it now. But the way that the RNC, I would say, used to work, okay, is when somebody is in there and they're not part of the swamp, okay, what they do is get somebody else to run against that Republican. So you have a grassroots Republican that's going out and doing it the old-fashioned way, but then you have a deep state snake Republican that they put there, and they put all their money behind that individual to try to get that individual in. And they do that to make us think that that person got in when in actuality they've been cheated in. Okay? They've been cheated in. Here in North Carolina, there's no way that President Trump can win the presidency and win as the president and win North Carolina, but then all of the down ballots, everything go to Democrats. It don't work like that. Okay?
I know exactly what you're talking about. In the state of Alabama, I got to tell you, there was a lady, and I'm telling you, we've got to have the right people in the superintendent's positions.
Yeah,
schools say that we have to have the right people. They've got to be. So there was a lady who was running for one of the offices there. I know her personally. Her name is Ann Eubank.
Okay,
she is. I'm telling you what, she is. She's on it, and she's actually the head of the Alabama Legislative Watchdogs. You know what that means?
Yeah,
she calls Democrats and Republicans down.
Wow.
So what she's done is she's ticked some Republicans off. So this woman should have been a shoo-in. She's all about Common Core. She was talking about Common Core, and I didn't know what the heck she was talking about because I didn't have any kids or grandkids in school. So she talked with me one day about, she said, I'm going to be on your show and talk about Common Core. And I'm, what's that? And she said, you need to know what Common Core is. Now, this is like 14 years ago. I mean, I'm talking about years ago when nobody knew what Common Core was. It was being slipped in. Well, she knew. And so this is what happened to her. She should have been the one. Okay, she's the most popular. Everybody knows her. Right. When she goes to Montgomery, people either run up to her and hug her neck or they run from her. She's one of those. You'd love her. You would love this girl or lady. And so this one woman who's known as being the knitter, I mean, she goes to, her husband is in politics. And so but I thought people were joking. And I said, are you kidding me? This woman just sits and knits at meetings and stuff. And they said, yeah, she sits and knits. She won.
Yeah.
This woman who she used to be a school teacher. So, yeah. But to me, that didn't qualify her.
But see, they want to put people in there that's a little dumbfounded to their system.
That they can rule around by the nose.
There you go.
And that's exactly what they got. And,
Yeah.
and all this mysterious money just started coming in from everywhere for that woman. And it just, I tell you what, Alabama politics just made me sick to my stomach.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah. It's just like Carrie Lake. Powerful, popular, and somebody that really didn't do much or nothing now gets the win.
mm-hmm.
Especially after they openly cheated. But see, that's what's been going on for so long. When you look at a lot of these old decrepit individuals that's in these positions, political positions, how did they win? Yeah, how did they win and they didn't even go out and campaign?
Yeah, but you and I do research, and people are beginning to, and we need to do it now, guys. Okay, again, midterm elections are really important. Would you say a midterm election is just as important as a presidential election?
Most definitely, because in the midterms, that's how you pick the person that you want to run in the general elections. But what they've done cleverly is put all of these different rules and regulations in the different elections within the different states to confuse the public. Because if you don't know if it's an open primary or a closed primary, it can confuse people. When my sister and I first started back in 2015, when we first came on the scene, we learned about open and closed primary. We didn't know anything about that. And when we learned about it, that's how we started the Ditch and Switch Now movement, by telling people, forget about if you're open or open primary or closed primary. Just ditch your party and make sure that you are a Republican so you can vote for President Trump all the way across the board. And then you won't get tied up in the weeds of all of these rules and regulations that they've put in place. So a lot of people, like you say, they don't vote in the primaries, probably because they don't understand the primaries, thanks to all of the red tape that's been put in place.
And then they think their vote doesn't count. But this is what I want people to think about. Okay. You can go on websites and you can know it's out there. It's in the open. We can all see who puts money into somebody's pocket who's running for office.
Right.
We'll be a little leery about some of the people who donate and give to a particular candidate, because guess what? That candidate is going to owe that jerk some favors.
Exactly.
It's a payback. That's all it is. All it is investment. They invest in a candidate because they know that things are going to go their way. It's going to help their business. It's going to help, if they're crazy with some crazy ideas like our kids, and that's what it's all about. It's
that's what's been going on. It's kickback paddywhacks. These dogs are being given many bones. Now they want to take an itch about a plane, about a $400 million plane, all right, that's been given to the Department of Defense. But look at the kickbacks that they get when they open up these foundations and have all of these people dump all of these millions of dollars into that foundation. When they're running, especially when that person is running as a candidate, they have these foundations. You put your money over there, then that's how they get that kickback. You got to understand something, Donna. A lot of people are really just getting into the game of politics. We were told to just sit on the sideline and just vote for the head of the ticket. Just vote for whoever we say you vote for. Now that people are getting off the fence, getting off that Democrat plantation, getting out of that box, and they're starting to educate themselves and learn different things from yourself and from myself, they're starting to get into the game of politics. Just look at it. I'm listening to people now that were once Democrats, of course, and they voted for Joe Biden. They said they voted for Joe Biden, and they said they went through 4 years of depression under him. It was just like dead under him. And now they get to see President Trump. Even though the Democrats are still talking, they say they actually get to see it for themselves, how President Trump is just moving forward, pressing forward, putting this in place, putting that in place, after they've been told that can't happen. That's not how that happened. What you got to do is wait on this.
Move on, you insignificant person. Move on, because that can't happen.
Right.
That is when people talk to you like that.
That's right. And now they get to actually see it happen under President Trump. Like, oh my God, we do have oil. We do have liquid gold underneath our feet. Oh my God, we can be self-sufficient. Oh, we don't have to depend on the Russia pipelines and all of this different foreign. We don't have to go back and forth and do all of this to depend on China. We have our own manufacturing companies. Oh my goodness, all of these millions of dollars can come into our country. So people, and another thing about the Trump administration, they are so transparent. You can see right through them. Every time they're doing something, they before the cameras, before the media, letting them know what's going on. Under Joe Biden, you didn't know much of nothing until you found out later, or until we did our investigation and found out what was really truly going on.
He didn't know what he was doing either. I'll tell you, one of my friends the other day and I were talking about this. This was the debate between President Trump and poor old Biden. So, and he was just rambling about a bunch of nonsense. And this is classic Trump anyway. And this is my favorite clip of Trump. Yeah. So he's looking at, he's looking straight ahead, and then he looks over at Biden, and then he looks straight ahead again, and he looks over at Biden again, and then it comes his time to say something, and he said, I don't know what he just said. I don't think he knows what he said either. And I was just like, you go, because so many people, let's be statesman-like. Well, the whole idea of being statesman-like is rolling over, playing dead, and letting people just run over the country and just spend money like a drunken sailor.
Yeah.
Just spend it.
Make money, print money that we don't even have. Just print it and then run up the deficit and look for us, the taxpayers, to pay it. But there's always been something with these people talking about being presidential. And we want somebody being presidential. And I'm like, well, being presidential, what, is just selling out our country? That's not being presidential. That's being stupid.
Trump is presidential. He's as presidential as you can get. He's a businessman. And a businessman needs to be running the country, not a bunch of flaky flakes who are out there just making the rules as they go. I mean, that's total nonsense. We're going to go into a commercial break, girl. We'll be right back in just a minute. Time flies when you're on the show. It really does. We'll be right back. Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community, whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need. Toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
I'm excited to announce our Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They won't last long, so get them while you can. Our famous My Slippers, they haven't been on sale for over a year. Regularly $119.98, now only $59.98. Our 6-piece towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. With hundreds of MyPillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list. Bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save on all MyPillow products. For example, flannel sheets for as low as $59.98, or our 6-piece towel sets, just $29.98. But that's not all. I'm extending our 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st of 2025. Plus, all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free.
The only place I buy my beef is Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama. Their cattle is born and raised on their ranch, grass and grain-fed, and you can feel confident when you serve your family and friends because their beef is all natural and no antibiotics or hormones are added. You can buy whole beef or perhaps go in with family or friends and buy half. Their customer service is number one as they take care of the delivery to their local processor and can deliver to your home for a small added fee. They also offer herd replacement heifers. I always call Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama for my beef specialty recipes and cookouts, and you can too. Food shortages are increasing, so buy local by calling 256-523-6462. That's 256-523-6462. Donna's Designs offers a line of handmade memorial, wedding, and keepsake jewelry that launched back in 1970. I'm a self-trained jewelry designer, and I will work closely with you to create unique designs you can love and treasure for years to come. Whether that be flowers that were used in a funeral arrangement or stones you found on the beach at a memorable trip, call me at 256-659-4319, and let's think of the possibilities. We are back.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer.
Yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
My name is Donna, and I am your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters even if it hurts. You know what? I love the truth, Silk. I really appreciate somebody telling me how it really is, and it's not rude to me when you tell me the truth.
That's right. And only the truth and nothing but the naked, nasty, low-down, gutter-written truth is going to set you free. Mm-hmm. And that's what's been missing in our country. That's why they try to censor us, silence our voices, because they did not want the truth to be out there. Then they start labeling us conspiracy theories. And I'm like, no, we just talking about how you all conspired with your theories to take and rip the American people off. Okay. So yeah, I love the truth and I love telling the truth. I don't care how you slice it, dice it, flip it up, or rub it down. And I don't care who it is, left wing, right wing, or in between. I have to tell the truth about you. If you ask for my truth, I'm just going to just be straight up. Yeah. I don't know how to lie. Now, I will be lying to you if I tell you that I've never told a lie. Okay. All right. Because you got white lies, black lies, you got yellow lies, you got red lies. You know, when you get in the red lie, and you just line, it's like you can feel the fire burning, right. But here's the deal. I love telling the truth, and I love when the truth is being told so that I can educate myself and understand what's truly going on. I don't like them little lies, and them little red lies, and little white lies, and little black lies, and this in the small print. You know what I'm saying? In the small print, and you don't know what you're getting. You don't know what's going on. You know, I'm sitting here and I'm looking at you when you're looking at movies and different things, and how they bring on these ads, these big pharma ads, and these vaccines. This vaccine, oh, take a pill for this, but you may get bubble guts. Your toe may fall off. You may get diabetes, and you may feel dizzy, but it's gonna take care of your headache. And I'm like, all for one little problem, and then you're going to get all of this side effect stuff for that. You see? All right. But then if you're looking at the stuff, if you're looking at the brochures, they got that in small print. They don't want you to know the whole truth about this stuff. All right. All right. And they say it so fast. And you thinking, what's going on? Now, me, because I'm alert to it, I pay close attention to it. The average person don't hear the side effects of a lot of this different stuff. So, yeah.
Do you remember the medicine? It was a medication. I think we were living in Charlotte, North Carolina then. And the commercial came on until I had the radio playing. And so I had a customer in my store. I had a store and a talk show at the same time. And so she was in there, and they said something about it could cause gambling. And it had nothing. It was like a headache or a kidney or something. I forgot what it had. Not. And so I looked at her, and she looked at me, and she said, what would that have to do with making you want to gamble, taking a pill? And I said, I'm not taking it. I mean, to me, that sounds like, it's all about synthetics going into your body. Anything that's not real food, it's not a real plant. It's just something like the jab that we talked about a million times. Okay, so my brother, has had every jab they've had out there. And then and just talk me down, like my husband and I were stupid because we didn't get every jab that came around, and we were mistreating mother and all this kind of stuff. Mother might get something because we didn't get it. Well, his wife told me, he would never tell me in 10 million years, and he's probably watching this show right now. I know, Chuck, because my sister-in-law told me that he said he'd wish he'd never got that. He's never felt good. And I'm like, really? Now who's the dumb one?
Right.
I'm still the dumb one.
People, and it's not just the jab, it's also the pharmaceutical medicines. They've also infiltrated that with the same stuff that's in the jab. They got it in the insulin. That's what happened with my sister and my mother. We're finding out, with them both being on that same type of insulin. All right. Two of my family members passed away that's on the same stuff. Now, the rest of the family, we're not on that stuff. We're not doing any of that, okay? So what I've been educating people, Donna, is to let them know it's not just a jab. It's not just the bioengineered weapon. I think that the bioengineered weapon actually accelerated the death, okay? And so they got it in the food now. They got it in the air now. You're breathing it in. And so it's a lot of people that wish that they would have never fallen into the entrapment of what these evil demonic bastards did. And I was talking to my father the other day, and we was talking about how our Social Security has basically been ripped off. And I said, Daddy, see, my father's 78 years old. I said, Daddy, now what it is, I'm gonna tell you what's going on, Daddy. I said, they've been looking for you, people like you, to just go ahead on and die off so they can keep that money in that and for themselves. Okay. I said, but see, y'all was doing good. The medicine was working. Everybody was doing great. I said, and what happened is they had to start accelerating the deaths, and they went younger to the younger ages. Because that's why you got 40-year-old now having heart attacks, or 30 years old just falling dead. Okay. You see what I'm saying? So they had to accelerate that because they needed to keep more money in their money train, so they can still basically steal people wealth. That's how I see it. Now that's my opinion, and that's how I see it, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, all right. But it's not just the vaccines, people. It's also the pharmaceutical medicines now that's been infiltrated with this stuff. It's the flu shot. I found out the flu shots in 2019, according to Judy Makovich. They had that mRNA technology, the quantum dots and the spike protein and all of that stuff. They got that infiltrated. And when you go get your teeth clean and or you have to get some type of surgery done to your mouth, and they have that stuff already impacted into that. And the bioweapon, this man-made engineered bioweapon called COVID accelerated a lot of the deaths. Because if you think about it, a lot of people did not pass away from COVID. They passed away from it's what they did to them in a hospital. Okay, you see what I'm saying? That's what they passed away from. What if they got the jab? It wasn't the flu. It was when you got the jab. It's what you got put inside of your body, and it was what they did to you in the hospital. That's what a lot of people died from. Of course, they don't want us to talk about it. All right, they don't.
This show's going to get knocked off. You know that.
Well,
because we're still talking about it, and we'll still get knocked off.
All I can do is tell the truth, Donna.
I have asthma. And so I was renting space from a radio station. The woman freaked out because she was afraid I would get COVID. And she said, you'll wind up on the ventilator and I'll be responsible because you die and all this. And actually it wound up being the best thing that ever happened to me. And because I went out on my own and all my sponsors came with me. So it's just, it wound up being a great thing for me. I didn't think so at the time, but now I know it was a wonderful God thing. It absolutely was. So this is what happened. So the pastor of the church we went to, his wife is not only a nurse, she's a doctor of nursing. She taught nursing, all of these things. So I went to a specialist, and the specialist, it was almost like they were trying to sell me a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah.
Trying to sell me this breathing machine. And it just, you and I are almost the same person, Silk. Something didn't sound right to me. It was like, she's trying to make me buy something. And all I could think of is my stepfather walking around with this machine all of his life. You know what I mean? Breathing, he couldn't breathe without it. So I talked with her because she's also, not only is she a nurse and a doctorate of nursing and teacher and all that kind of stuff, she believes in natural medicine.
That's right, baby.
So this is what I asked her. I said, I know you're going to tell me the truth. I said, so it felt like she was selling me a vacuum cleaner. The specialist, the doctor, the specialist. And she said, don't get it. Right. And I said, okay. But why are you saying don't get it? She said, if you will just learn to breathe yourself.
Come on. Yeah.
You'll just do deep breaths in and out.
That's right.
Breathing it. You won't need that. If you get this, Donna, you're going to be dependent on it the rest of your life.
Your life. That's been the name of the game.
It felt good to me. I mean, to me, it felt weird. And then I thought, well, she'll know if I'm just crazy old Donna, alarmist, whatever. And so she said, no, you're right. You don't need that machine. You do your own breathing exercises.
That's right.
And do you know something? I also take ginger root. I don't use the inhaler. I don't use any of that stuff.
That's right.
I'm doing so much better than I was a few years ago.
That's been their name of the game, to try to find a way to put you on something so that they can put you on something else to counter that something when that something creates something in your body. All right. God designed our body. And here's my deal. All of that synthetic and different stuff, our body was not created and made to process that stuff. And that's where now you get kidney stones, gallbladder issues, and diabetes and all of this different stuff. And a lot of these big pharma medicines, what it does is it render your certain parts of your body mute. Okay. It messes with your immune system. And when it comes down to your pancreas, it stops your pancreas from doing what it needs to do to produce the insulin, so that when you eat, it brings down your blood sugar. All right. If your pancreas, because you're taking medicine for something else, but if your pancreas is not working, now when you go back to the doctor, you're going to say, well, you have diabetes. You right there at the borderline diabetic. All right.
Then you got to have
that pill. You're still eating on that pill that is rendering your pancreas mute, and you don't even realize, because you're taking a pill for something else.
Mhm.
And now, before you know it, you're taking sugar pills or the pills for your diabetes. And then before you know it, you're getting the injections. And they're making all this money off of you. And you're taking 15 different pills at one time. And no study has been done to see the a counter effect or the effects of taking all of that different chemicals at one time. And you wonder why you feel bad. Sometimes you have to detox from all of that.
Yeah, you
have
do.
to- You have
My
to do
mother's
that.
taking 6 different things, and I can't get it into her head that I think the reason she feels bad all the time, the reason that she sleeps all the time, is because she's taking 6 different medications.
Right. Yeah. But we've been indoctrinated to believe that that's the way to go. We've been indoctrinated to believe that you have to be on something in order to feel good or in order to just be here breathing. Okay.
Everybody's making money off of those pills. I
Yes.
mean, everybody. So back in the 1970s, I had an uncle who was killed in a car wreck at a very young age. Well, everybody was upset. Of course, we were just going to pieces about it. And I was about 14 when this happened.
Okay.
There was a doctor who came in wanting to give all the women medication. And my dad goes, "No, you're not taking it," to my mother. "No, you're not taking it. You got to deal with it." So this is what happened. This has been going on for decades. I'm 66 now. Okay. So I was 14 when that happened. So I mean, I saw it happening then, and I was just a kid. So I'm glad my dad had the forethought to say, "No, you got to deal with this."
Right.
All you do is you're just kicking the can down the road if you don't deal with it when it happens. And then you wind up with all kinds of depression. You wind up with all kinds of stuff. You know,
More illness, more issues, more illness. And all you needed was some valerian root or some chamomile tea.
that's all.
You see what I'm saying? That's
You know
all
what?
you need.
Do you have comfrey plant? You know what I'm
I've
saying?
used- I don't have it, but I've used comfrey plant before.
Oh my God, that's the best stuff on earth.
Yeah.
And it's the Scott's thing. And so I make salves and all this kind of stuff with it. And I get poison oak. All I've got to do is walk by poison oak and it jumps on me and just takes over my whole body. So
Wow.
I've been using the comfrey salve, and it's made out of just comfrey and like olive oil or something like that. And I'm saying it's the best thing ever.
That's it. Even dandelion root. That the weeds that you see out there in the yard.
It's
if
not
you
a weed.
notice, that
People don't mow that down. Bees love it.
But what I'm trying to get people to see, I don't care how much weed killer you put on dandelion, it always comes right back.
Mhm.
That's because it's God natural root. Go do your studies on the dandelion roots. Sometimes you could just go out there in the yard and pull that root right on up, wash it off real good, and then take it and boil you some water for it and steep it in there. Girl, that's the best tea for your body, because the leaves of the trees is for the healing of the nation.
That's it. Just
That's
like
right.
President Trump. He's
Yeah.
our root. He's the root of our nation. I know you've got to go, girl.
Yeah.
I wish we had more time. Thank you so much for being with us, Silk. It's
Well,
always a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me. And don't forget, soon the movie called Pardon Me, the Beverly B. Williams story, will be coming out soon. And so I'm going to keep everybody updated. Keep looking at my social media pages, Diamond and Silk. And you all put your coins back so that you'll be able to go and see this incredible movie with Silk in it as well, because I done became a movie star. All right. And I want y'all to go see that movie. And I love you, Donna.
Love
Thank
you
you so
too.
much for having me.
You take care. Bye-bye.
God bless. Bye-bye.
You too. Well, Silk had to go. So let's go ahead and talk. We started talking just a few minutes ago just about, just plants and how to make plants a part of your life without harming yourself and without harming your body. So let's talk a little bit more about that. Okay. And then I want to talk to you about voting. So let's go ahead. I want you to look at this. Okay. Go to your various websites. Go find a good herbalist. I have an herbalist who's actually going to be on the show. His name is Ron Foster, and you can find him on YouTube. You can find his books. He has all kinds of books out there. I think it's on Amazon where you can find things. And I know he has a website, but we'll be talking about that next time he's on the show. Okay, now let's talk about voting and why it's extremely important that you vote. Okay, so Silk and I covered that just a little bit, but let's dig just a little bit more about why it's so important, because a lot of folks say, well, it's just a presidential race. It really doesn't matter, who the senator is, who the congressperson is, but it really does matter. Even on your local races, like when you have a mayor's race, it's important who your mayor is. I live close to a town in Alabama that I don't know what the mayor was thinking. So a lot of illegal folks started coming in. Now they've taken over the town. I mean, you just see them. I mean, and I love folks from other countries coming in, but they need to become a United States citizen. Okay, so they're getting all this money, they're getting all this stuff, and they're not even a legal citizen. And so instead of like wanting to fly the American flag, they want to fly the Haiti flag. Haitian flags? Are you kidding me? So it's really important that who is in your not only senator and your congressman, but also who your mayor is, your city council people are extremely important. Make sure that folks that care about your community, make sure that people who care about your state, make sure that people who care actually about your hometown, because it all comes in from your hometown, right? So let's really study this, okay, and go out and vote. You need to find out about people. You can go on various websites and see where money is coming from for their campaign. That means a lot there as well. So if you see someone who says, well, I'm for you, but they're looking over your head, they're not even looking at you in the eyeballs. Granddad was right when he said you can't trust a man who doesn't look, or a woman who doesn't look you in the eyes. They were absolutely right about that. If they can give you a handshake, if they won't sit and listen to you and sit and listen to what your problems are. I know some mayors across the country that where I lived in Alabama, he wouldn't even set up an appointment with you to talk with you. What does that say about that person? What does that, are they working for you, or are they working for something else? Are they working on money coming into them from various areas? I mean, it doesn't sound like this person is looking for you. So do this. I want you to think about the midterm elections. I want you to go out and do some research. That's what I do. And yes, it takes up some time to do that. Do this as a family project where you and your family, your husband or your spouse, your kids get together and you find out information about somebody. Okay, what you need to do also is go to their meetings. They're always going to have campaign meetings. You need to make sure you're present at those, because you can get a lot out of just reading between the lines about somebody who's running for office. Yeah, you can. If they go around, let's say you ask a question, and be kind when you're asking questions. Don't be dogmatic about it, but just ask a simple question, raise your hand, wait on them to recognize you, and ask a question. If they don't answer it and they're going around the trail, they're beating around the bush, they're probably not going to be a person who's going to be a good fit for whatever the position is. Again, it's, a lot of folks don't want to do midterm, but it's just as important. Absolutely. It's just as important as the presidential race, because if the president doesn't have some good folks to work with him in Congress and in the Senate, he's not going to be able to get the good things passed, the good bills passed. And also, just because it has an R on it, or just because they have a D in front of their name, that doesn't mean anything. If there are two people running for the same race, I'll use Don Brown, for example. In North Carolina, he's running for U.S. Senate. Okay, another guy is running for U.S. Senate as well. You need to go do research on both those guys. Don't necessarily vote for the incumbent. If the incumbent has not been good at returning your calls or answering your questions, then you don't need them. It's time to go ahead and get rid of that one and find somebody who's going to run that office like a business, like President Trump is doing right now. We're going to have to go. Thank you so much for being with us. I definitely appreciate it. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. You can find us on television. We are syndicated on Abundance Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcasts. And it's on the newscasters.com. You can still find us on all the social media sites as well. Again, thank you so much for watching. And I want to thank Silk for spending some time with us as well. You take care. We'll see you next time.